10 years ago, I stood at pump 6 of a nameless gas station. Let's see how long it takes him to get home. She had laughed, through the open window of our silver SUV. And then she drove off, her laughter echoing louder than the rumble of the engine or the shuffle of my boots on broken pavement. Her name was Vanessa. She thought I'd panic. She thought I'd beg. She thought I'd call her in 5 minutes flat and that she'd answer with a smug, "Just kidding, babe. You passed the test." She expected me to return home, tail tucked, playing the role I always did, the quiet husband who endured too much for too little. But I didn't call. I didn't beg. I just started walking. The first town I hit was a rusted-out spec called Faro. The kind of place where everybody knew your dog's name, but nobody asked yours unless you gave a reason. Old man Jerome at the auto shop needed someone to sweep the floor and rotate tires. I told him I could do that and then some. He paid cash. No questions. And that first night, when I lay in that musty room, sore and stinking like brake fluid, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Freedom. Vanessa probably filed a report. Maybe even called my family. Played the victim, told them I just disappeared. Left out the part where she abandoned me in the middle of nowhere because it was funny. But the thing about people like Vanessa is, they never see their reflection unless you hold up a mirror. And I wasn't about to do that for her anymore. Over the years, I drifted like smoke. Town to town. Job to job. I built a life, one made from honest work and quiet mornings. I found a dog. Named her Luna. She's half wolf, half mystery, and more loyal than anyone I'd ever known. I made friends. I stopped watching the clock. And for 10 full years, I never heard from Vanessa. Until today. I woke up to Luna licking my face and the faint buzz of my phone skittering across the nightstand like a cockroach. At first, I thought it was a glitch. No one calls me that much, not even the crew from the hardware store. But there it was. 85 missed calls. All from one number I didn't recognize. The text came next. "Ethan, please. Just call me. I need to talk to you. It's important. It's me, Vanessa." I stared at the screen, my fingers hovering like they were afraid to touch the past. My heartbeat was steady. Too steady. Like the calm before a tornado tears the roof off your house. She found me. How? No idea. Maybe it was social media. Maybe someone from my past ran their mouth. Or maybe she just finally started looking under the right rocks. But there was one thing I knew for certain. She wanted something. And I wasn't the same man she left at pump 6. I wasn't the guy who apologized for things I didn't break or stayed quiet to keep the peace. That man died somewhere outside of Faro. I looked out the window of my cabin, watching Luna chase a rabbit through the frost-tipped grass. Then I picked up my phone and sent one message. "You got 10 years of silence. What makes you think you deserve a word now?" She replied within seconds. "Please, Ethan, just talk to me. There's something you need to know. Something I need to know." That was rich. For 10 years, I didn't need anything from her. Not answers, not apologies, not closure. Certainly not whatever half-baked drama she decided to resurrect after a decade of silence. I left the message on read. Let her feel that empty space. Let her squirm. But even as I went about my morning, feeding Luna, checking the propane tank, fixing a broken hinge on the screen door, my mind kept circling back. Not because I missed her. No, because I knew Vanessa. And she wasn't the kind of woman who asked unless she was out of options. By noon, she was calling again. 10 more missed calls. Then a voicemail. I didn't mean to listen. I meant to delete it. But my thumb slipped, and her voice poured into the room like a draft under a sealed door. "Ethan, if you're still going by that." "Jack. I don't know what to say except I'm sorry. Not just for the gas station. For everything. I was young. Stupid. I thought it was funny. It wasn't. I know that now. I didn't try hard enough to find you back then. But I'm trying now. Because it's important. Please. Call me back. Just one call. Please." I let the silence ring out long after the message ended. She was scared. I could hear it under the words, buried in that trembling breath she always tried to hide when she lost control of a situation. And Vanessa hated losing control. That night, I sat on the porch with a whiskey neat, Luna at my feet, watching the last of the sun burn out over the pines. The phone buzzed again. This time, it was a name I hadn't seen in even longer. Jared V. Voicemail. My old brother-in-law. Vanessa's little brother. A guy I hadn't thought about since he was 18 and glued to his Xbox, avoiding adulthood like it was contagious. I listened. "Jack. I mean, Ethan. Look, man. I don't know if you'll even hear this, but I need to say it. She's not lying. About trying to reach you. About needing you. Something happened. It's about Sophie. Sophie. The name landed like a sucker punch. Sophie was her niece. Our niece. Born a year before I vanished from that parking lot. I held her once. Her whole head could fit in my palm. Vanessa's sister, Rachel, named me godfather before she passed away. Liver failure. Vanessa barely cried. I hadn't thought about Sophie in years. Hadn't let myself. She's in trouble, Ethan. And you're the only one who might be able to help. That was it. The message cut off. Short. No details. And just like that, I was in it. 2 days later, I was back on the road. Didn't tell anyone I was leaving. Left Luna with Carol, my neighbor, retired vet, the only person I trusted with my girl. I packed light. Cash, burner phone, change of clothes, a printed map with no digital footprint. The address Jared gave was in Nebraska. Some small-town middle-of-nowhere suburb called Ridgefield Heights. Too neat. Too clean. Probably hiding more secrets than it could handle. I drove through the night. Somewhere around 2 a.m., I pulled into a gas station on the outskirts of town. The kind of place that gave déjà vu a sharp edge. I walked in. Same flickering fluorescent lights. Same cheap candy bars. Same stale smell of burnt coffee and spilled diesel. The guy behind the counter barely looked up. I grabbed a soda and stood there, staring at the door. 10 years ago, she left me standing in front of one just like it. And now? Now I was walking back through it. Not as the man she left, but as the man she'd have to answer to. When I pulled up to the house, it was still dark. Vanessa's SUV sat in the driveway. The same make and model. Just a newer year. Of course. She always did love her status symbols. I knocked. No answer. I knocked again, louder this time. Then I heard it. A soft shuffling from inside. Curtains moved. A light clicked on. And then the door creaked open. There she stood. Vanessa. 10 years older, but still with that polished, practiced look, like every hair and every emotion had been carefully staged. But her eyes, they weren't sharp like I remembered. They were red. Swollen. Hollow. She opened her mouth. Ethan, Jack. I raised a hand. Don't, I said. You called. I came. Talk. Her lip trembled. She stepped aside. I never thought I'd see you again, she whispered. I stepped through the doorway. Took in the hollow house. The picture frames turned face down on the side table. A single light bulb flickering in the hallway. I turned to her slowly. Start talking, Vanessa, I said. And don't you dare lie. Because the man you left at that gas station doesn't exist anymore. She led me into the living room like a woman tiptoeing through a crime scene. Every step she took made it clear this house hadn't felt safe in a long time. The furniture was too perfect, the silence too heavy. Like it was all staged, set dressing for a life that no longer existed. We didn't sit. She wrung her hands, standing in the middle of the room like she might unravel if I so much as breathed too hard. I stood still, stone-faced. Let her talk. I didn't know where else to turn, she started. That's funny, I said flatly. You had 10 years to try. Her face cracked. Not the carefully applied makeup or that fake composure her. The woman behind all of it. For a split second, I saw the scared girl who used to make jokes to hide the fact that she didn't really like herself. But I'd been burned by that look before. I wasn't about to soften now. I made a mistake, she whispered. Which one? I asked. The joke that left me stranded? Or waiting 10 years to check if I was still breathing? She closed her eyes, steeling herself. This isn't about us. My jaw tensed. Then make it about what matters. She turned and picked up a photo from the mantel. Held it like it was something holy. Handed it to me. A teenage girl. Long dark hair, hard eyes, and a smirk that reminded me of someone I used to know. Too grown up for her age. A warning written in eyeliner. Sophie, she said. I felt that name like a slap. She's 15 now, Vanessa added. And she's missing. It was like a fuse snapped in my chest. I looked back down at the photo, and my mind raced. Rachel was gone, dead nearly a decade. Her husband had bailed long before that. That left Sophie in Vanessa's care. That left her, alone with people who'd rather bury things than face them. How long? I asked, keeping my voice steady. 3 days, she said. She left for school. Never came back. Did you file a report? Of course I did, she snapped. I've done everything. Police. Flyers. Online alerts. But nothing's happening. No leads. Just dead ends. And I knew you'd know what to do. You always kept a clear head when things went bad. I scoffed. Right. until I walked off the map and never came back. She didn't respond, just folded in on herself. But I wasn't here to soothe her. I was here for Sophie. I took a seat, finally. The chair by the window. The one with the best view of the street. Old habit. Tell me everything, I said. Start from the beginning. No filters. I want dates, names, behavior changes. And I swear, Vanessa, if you leave anything out. She nodded quickly, already pulling a file folder from under the couch cushion. Of course. She was prepared. That was her thing. Chaos on the surface, spreadsheets underneath. She started pulling away a few months ago. Vanessa began. Skipping meals. Sneaking out. Got into a fight with another girl at school. Something about a guy, I think, but no one's talking. Her phone was a fortress. Always locked. Wouldn't let it out of her sight. Then last week, I found a burner phone in her backpack. That's when I knew something was wrong. A cold weight settled in my gut. Burner phones. Locked doors. Silent feuds. I'd seen that pattern before. Grooming. Trafficking. Or worse. Did she have any friends you trusted? Anyone close? She nodded. Claire Hastings. They were thick as thieves. I tried calling her, but she just says she doesn't know anything. Same story, over and over. Where's Claire live? 2 blocks over. I stood up. Vanessa blinked. Now, you said she's been gone 3 days. We're already late. The girl who answered the door was wearing too much eyeliner and not enough truth. Claire, I asked. Who's asking? She replied, chewing gum like it might ward off confrontation. I didn't flinch. Just handed her the photo of Sophie. We need to know where she is. Right now. She hesitated. The act cracked for a moment. A flicker of something, fear, maybe, ran across her face. I told her everything I know. Then tell me again, I said. And this time, don't lie. She crossed her arms. Look, Sophie said she was meeting someone. Older guy. She didn't say much, just that he understood her. Said he was helping her get away from all this. She was different the last few weeks. Wore makeup to school. Told me she had plans. Big ones. But she didn't tell me where. I swear. That was enough to light a fire in my gut. Did she ever say his name? No. I narrowed my eyes. Then tell me what she didn't say. Claire swallowed hard. There's a motel. Off Route 41. The Roseway Inn. She asked me once if I'd ever stayed there. Said it was cheap and quiet. That's all I got. I nodded. You've done enough. Claire shut the door without a word. I stood there on her porch, watching the sun slip down past the treetops. The Roseway Inn. Cheap. Quiet. And the kind of place you don't check into unless you've got something to hide. Or someone. Vanessa was waiting by the door when I got back. She looked up at me, hopeful. I didn't smile. You're coming with me, I said. She hesitated. Why? Because if what I think is happening is actually happening, you're going to see it. All of it. Her hands trembled. But she nodded. We drove in silence. Her in the passenger seat. Me gripping the wheel like it owed me answers. The road stretched out ahead, dark and winding. The motel wasn't far. But it was far enough for one quiet thought to creep into my head and dig its claws deep. What if I'm too late? The Roseway Inn sat like a dying memory on the edge of town. One of those places that clung to life through neglect and neon promises. The flickering signs sputtered vacancy like a cry for help, half the bulbs dead, the other half buzzing like they were seconds from combustion. We pulled into the lot just after midnight. 6 cars, 2 trucks, 1 motorcycle, all beat to hell. The kind of vehicles that don't ask questions and don't want to be found. The building was U-shaped, 2 stories high, windows blacked out or curtained with what looked like old bedsheets. Vanessa clutched the photo of Sophie like it was a shield. Her eyes scanned the motel like she expected her niece to suddenly appear in one of those doorways, smiling, saying it was all just a misunderstanding. I didn't have that luxury. I'll check the office, I said. You stay here. She didn't argue. The lobby was a cracked linoleum coffin of cigarette stench and boredom. A man behind the desk looked up, late 50s, greasy hair, wearing a wife-beater like it was a badge of honor. I gave him a look that told him I wasn't in the mood. Looking for a girl, I said. 15. Brown hair. Might have come in with a guy. Older. You seen her? He looked at me for a beat too long. Not shocked. Not confused. Just calculating. No one like that here, he said. He was lying. I could smell it. Like gasoline under his words. You sure? I asked, leaning in. Because if you are, I'll make my next stop the sheriff's office. And I'll make sure they shut this rat hole down faster than you can say underage. He flinched, just slightly, then grabbed a logbook from under the counter. Room 12B. Paid in cash. No ID. Just initials, DT. I didn't wait for permission. I was halfway back to the car when I saw Vanessa already out, pacing. Room 12B, I told her. You stay behind me. No arguments. She didn't answer, just nodded. That same vacant, guilty look plastered across her face. It was dawning on her. All the years of selfishness, of pushing people away, of pretending love meant control, it had led here. To this parking lot. To this moment. To her niece possibly trapped in a motel room with a predator. We moved fast. I didn't knock. I kicked. The door blasted open. The room smelled like sweat and regret. Stained carpet. Cigarette burns on the nightstand. And on the bed, Sophie. Alive. Wearing a hoodie 2 sizes too big. Sitting upright, phone in hand, wide-eyed and frozen. Alone. No man in sight. Vanessa rushed forward. Sophie. But the girl didn't move. Didn't even blink. Sophie, I said quietly, stepping into the room. It's me. It's Ethan. Still nothing. Then, slowly, she looked up. And that smirk, the one in the photo, curved across her lips. Oh, she said. You're real. Vanessa stopped dead in her tracks. What? Sophie tilted her head. I was wondering if you'd show up. I mean, after all the drama. Seemed fitting. Vanessa's voice cracked. Baby, what's going on? Why are you here? Sophie looked at her with a coldness I hadn't seen since Rachel's funeral. Because I wanted to see if you'd actually care. And shocker, you didn't. Not until I dragged him back into your life. Vanessa blinked. What are you talking about? Sophie leaned forward, arms resting on her knees like a chess player mid-game. I texted Jared. Pretended to be you. Told him to call Ethan. Told him something bad had happened. You didn't even know I was gone yet. Vanessa stumbled back like she'd been slapped. You planned this? She whispered. Sophie smiled. Every bit. My blood ran cold. She wasn't missing. She was baiting me. You wanted me to come back, I said. Sophie looked at me now. Really looked. You were the only person who ever told me the truth. Everyone else tiptoed. But you were real. Even when it hurt. I shook my head. You faked a disappearance. Got the police involved. No, she said, calm as a monk. I never filed anything. No alerts. No cops. I knew she wouldn't. She's too worried about what the neighbors think. I turned to Vanessa. You didn't report her? I was going to, she stammered. You let me think she was gone, I growled. Dead. I needed you to come back, she blurted. I didn't know how else to make you talk to me. Sophie laughed. So I guess we both got what we wanted. I should have walked out right then. Should have left them both in that rotting motel room and never looked back. But something inside me stirred. Not anger. Not even betrayal. Resolve. Sophie wasn't broken. She was angry. Just like I was, once. And Vanessa? She was still stuck in her own web of lies. You think this proves something? I asked Sophie. She blinked. What? You think manipulation makes you strong? That hurting people makes you smart? She said nothing. You're wrong. All you've proven is that the damage runs deeper than anyone wants to admit. Then I turned to Vanessa. You don't get to ask for forgiveness just because you're lonely. You abandoned me. Now you're watching the next generation repeat your worst mistakes. Her lip quivered. Please, Ethan. I looked at Sophie. You need help. She scoffed. Not from you. You got it anyway. I pulled out my phone and made the call. Not to the cops. Not to child services. To Rachel's old friend. The one who ran a youth mentorship program 2 counties over. Got a case for you, I said. Complicated one. I drove Sophie there myself. Didn't say goodbye to Vanessa. Didn't even look back. When I dropped Sophie off, she didn't say thank you. She didn't hug me. She just looked at me like she wasn't sure whether to hate me or follow me. I knew that look. That's the look of a soul caught between burning the bridge or learning how to cross it.